Now there are a million ways to cook a flank steak, but this marinated and grilled version is my favorite. It takes a budget, pretty affordable piece of meat, infuses it with a ton of flavor, and flank steak is one of my go-tos when I want a little bit of meat to go a really long way. It totally feeds my family because everybody just takes a couple of pieces and the flavor's out of this world. Flank steak's notorious for being a little bit tough, but I'm gonna show you how to mitigate that. You won't have to worry about it. Between the marinade, the hot and fast grilling, and the way that we slice it at the end, each bite of this flank steak is gonna be incredibly delicious and super flavorful. Now that you know what a flank steak is, how we're gonna cook it, let's gather the ingredients and make our marinade.
I like to make my marinades in a gallon zip top bag, but you can do this in a bowl, anything that will fully submerge your flank steak. We start with olive oil, balsamic vinegar, brown sugar, a healthy amount of Worcestershire sauce, black pepper, kosher salt, red pepper flakes, fresh rosemary, and there's copious amounts of minced garlic in there as well. You want to mix to combine until that brown sugar and the salt is nice and dissolved, and then add your flank steak into the marinade itself. Seal it tightly, press out any excess air, and then massage to make sure that marinade is all the way around the flank steak. Pop it into your refrigerator. I like to marinate for at least 2 hours at a bare minimum, but I think it's even better if you let it go for a full day. Take your steak out of the marinade, and we're gonna put it on a grill that's about 450 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going for direct heat grilling here, and I like to close the lid. This will help us get a nice, even cook all the way through. You really only need to flip this once when it's nice and caramelized. On the opposite side, lid back on, 4 to 5 more minutes. We're really going for a medium rare temperature here, about 130 to 135. You'll have a beautiful color on the outside of that steak from the brown sugar caramelizing over the high heat of that grill.
All right. Our flank steak was temping at a beautiful medium rare. I've got some gorgeous caramelization and color on the outside from some of the sweetness in the marinade, caramelizing over the high heat of the coals. And now we have to slice. One of the most important things when slicing a flank steak is that you go against the grain. Now a flank steak has long strands of muscles. You can see them in the raw flank steak when you go to put it in your marinade, all of these long strands. What you want to do is shorten each of those strands with your slicing so that you get a really tender bite through piece of steak without any stringiness or chewiness. And that just means we have to go against the grain in thin slices. I think the thin slices also really helps this cut go the distance. I know I can buy one piece of flank steak and it'll feed my family dinner and we'll probably have leftovers. People tend to be a little less, gluttonous. They eat a little bit less when it's sliced thin like this, so it's perfect for kind of that family meal style of eating. It also works really great for meal prep. If you wanted to marinate this, grill it off in advance, let it rest, slice it. We like to layer them into bowls with like roasted potatoes or roasted sweet potatoes, and then your favorite grilled veggie. It makes a beautiful steak bowl for meal prep. So this is what I'm talking about with the thin slices, a little bit more than paper thin, really tender, really juicy, nice and pink on the inside. That is a perfectly cooked piece of flank steak. And when we talk about tenderness, this is a pretty tough cut and it's just breaking apart in my hands. That means we've cooked it perfectly and we've sliced it perfectly. Plus with that marinade and the heat and the char on the outside from the grill, it also tastes perfect. This flank steak is gonna be one that ends up in your weekly family dinner rotation. I can already tell. Let me know when you give it a try. We'll see you next time. Oh, it's so good.